Her head is not composition, it's made of a type of a plastic. And we've got a bit of an issue here.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, welcoming you back to another kitchen counter thrift haul. Now, everything that you see here was purchased by me at local flea markets, secondhand stores, every once in a while a church bazaar, that kind of thing. We don't really have yard sales here in the city, but people will put things out on the stoop or the front, out on the sidewalk, and I'll sometimes pick through the trash. Sometimes. Let's talk about what you see. It's an odd assortment of things, and I hope you'll stay tuned. But before that, today's cup of coffee is brought to you by...
A cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you. A cozy corner, a table for two.
Well, today's steaming cup of coffee is brought to you by the Diamond Glassware Company of Indiana, Pennsylvania. This is a pattern that was introduced in 1929 and sold until the early 30s, 1932 I think. It's a beautiful amber color. I'm still using some of my amber glass. I'm not quite ready to put it away until Thanksgiving or until next fall, but it will soon be put away and the springtime colors will come out. I have dinner plates that match. Okay, let's see what's what here on the kitchen counter, and I may need some help with a few of the things. I'm going to start down here. Let's go all the way to Czechoslovakia and take a look at these. We'll focus in on these. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? We have to tip our hats to the Czechs. They knew what they were doing when they were making glass beads. Now, when you see these little tiny flowers, they're almost always Czechoslovakian. And a lot of the beads, the women's beads that would be found on purses and dresses and things like that in the 1920s and 30s, a lot of that came from Czechoslovakia. As well as the beads for lampshades and even larger decorative lamps with clusters of glass fruit. Now, I have 8 of these little baskets, and even if they weren't marked Czechoslovakia, there would be no doubt. But they are underneath, which is going to be difficult to see in this bright light. I believe they are marked Czechoslovakia. And we can see here there's a little clamp right here, two pieces of metal about as thick as a paper clip, and it's wrapped in some kind of fabric. I'm going to guess these are place card holders for the table. That's just my guess. I don't know, but they certainly do date to before the Second World War. Mid-20s into the early 30s, these would be. I can't think what else you would clip down inside of those little things, except little place cards to be put on the dining room table. Anybody know for sure? It's my guess. The Mildred pattern made by Mount Clemens back there. We see a whole bunch of it. I've got two great big casseroles with lids, bunch of dessert plates or little sandwich plates, bread and butter plates, two gravy boats, and a cream and sugar, a pattern popular in the 1920s and 30s. Sometimes it's marked and sometimes it's not. I know I have a subscriber who is collecting this because it was her grandparents' wedding china. Trish, I think that's your name, if I can remember from a year and a half ago. If you're still out there and you'd like any of this, let me know. Now, I haven't listed any of this in the Old Curiosity Shop yet. You all saw all that glass yesterday. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. This is a break tonight from the Depression Glass series. I'll be coming back again, don't worry, but we're going to take the night off. So anyway, I did manage to get all of that glass photographed today, although none of it is listed yet, and nothing that you see here is listed. So I'm kind of breaking my rule by doing the thrift haul before listing everything in the shop, but I'm easing into the new year, so it will all be listed eventually. Okay, beautiful American dinnerware. Here's a nice piece of pottery, a vase, with just a fragment there of a label on the bottom. And if I remember correctly, this is a piece of Abingdon pottery. Let's kind of zoom in. Well, I'm going to jump in here and do a voiceover. I don't know if you could tell, I might have been a little lackluster in this video. I'm dragging just a little bit. My brain wasn't working, and I was announcing that this was a piece of Abingdon pottery. I knew better than that. It's actually a piece of Hager from Dundee, Illinois. And if you look closely, you'll actually be able to see the remnants of the word Hager at the top and Dundee, Illinois there on that sticker. But I kept saying Abingdon pottery in the video. I'm not sure why I was doing that, but I wanted to correct myself there. Just a little bit of a paper label left on that nice vase. The china is all in good condition too. There's one tiny chip on one of the gravy boats. That's it. Now I've got some dolls back here I need some help with, because I don't know much about them. We'll start off with this funny looking thing right here. I think it's supposed to be depicting a typical French artist. He's got his paintbrush, and I imagine that I can see the remnants of what was probably a palette in his hands with all his paints on it, which is gone, so someone could fabricate a new one. You see where something broke off. But his head appears to be like pantyhose over top of cotton, and it's all hand painted. I don't know. He's wearing his, is that a French beret? Look at all the fuzz on there, all the lint. You can see it's kind of a, I don't know, like a pantyhose material. Very funny looking. I don't know what that says there with those characters. If we turn this upside down, it says Japan, and I can't read what's left of that foil sticker there. So, some little touristy thing, I suppose. Okay, let's put him over here. Let's let him take a rest in the gravy boat. There you go. Now look at this table. Oh my goodness, this almost looks exactly like an original. Now, we wouldn't say that this is a salesman's sample. A lot of times people see miniatures and they automatically say, salesman's sample, salesman's sample. But we usually see that with things like refrigerators and sewing machines and phonographs. This I would not call a salesman's sample, but It's very accurate. It is made out of mahogany, and it's a drop leaf table here. It's larger than a small dollhouse, so I'm not really sure. But I'll turn it upside down and just let you see the detail. It's very well made. I can see it's handmade. Someone has sort of chiseled out. We can see here to put the hinges in there. There's an indication here that there was another set of hinges that is gone. Will you see that? Because of the way it's been carved out, and we can see some ghost holes, probably from an older set of hinges. Same thing is true over here. But beautiful mahogany. I haven't put any, boy, this would look nice with a little bit of lemon oil on it, wouldn't it, to shine it up? But that's the mahogany grain, and it looks just like a drop leaf table from 1900, 1910, something like that, maybe a little earlier. So we're just going to say a piece of dollhouse furniture, I guess, but as you can see, it's pretty large. I'll move this over here. Go through these other dolls very quickly. She has some condition problems here. She's beautiful, but she's got a big rip in her dress, a hole in her dress in the front. She's wearing the Star of David, and I don't know if she is a Jewish bride, if this, there's some kind of a significance there, perhaps someone knows. Her head is not composition, it's made of a type of a plastic, and we've got a bit of an issue here. Now, yes, it can be repaired, but if you look inside, we don't have a problem there. What's missing is the little rubber band or the elastic that would hold it in. But we do have a break here on the inside, and I'd like this to focus for me. There we go. So her head needs to be reattached. We have to do a little surgery on her, but for modesty's sake, we're not going to go any farther than that. She's not very old, probably the well, because she's this hard plastic, I don't suggest that she's any older than the 1930s or 40s, but she's got a few little condition problems there. The eyes will open and close. Let's see if we can get her. I have to stand up to do that. Okay, there she is asleep. I had to take this thing and put it in the closet because the cat would not leave this alone. He didn't do the damage. She actually came that way. So we'll put her back in the gravy boat. And I don't mean to be irreverent. I apologize for placing her head like that, but that's really the best that I can do. Then the last one over here is looking rather Nordic, perhaps, or maybe she's German. She's got on a traditional costume, we can see there, and she needs a little more stuffing in her dress to keep her head up there. So she's either Swiss or German or Dutch or Finnish or something like that. Nothing on the bottom. Her dress is made of silk. And as I said, a little more stuffing on the inside. I did unbutton her dress with permission to see if she was stuffed with newspaper that might have a date on it. And sadly, she's not stuffed with newspaper. She's stuffed with paper, but no date. So again, probably some little touristy thing. I think her face is some type of felted cardboard or composition or something. But she doesn't have any damage at all, and maybe she dates to the 1940s as well. Couldn't really be certain about that, but I'm sure someone out there who is a doll expert can tell me. 3 pans, little pans from the Depression era, and this is called Bake Rex Crownware. Good shape. I suppose you could still bake in these. It'd put a nice little Art Deco pattern on the outside of you. That one's got a little rust in the corner, so you'd have to dig that out. But I've got 3 of those, which I'm selling. 2 bookends I'm in love with, and I might not sell these. Made of oak. They're going to date to around 1930 or thereabouts. And when I say that, we could easily be talking about 1925 to 1935. They're made of oak and they are polychromed. And this is all pressed. Turn it around so you can really see the oak on the back. Okay, that's oak. That's mahogany. And remember, wood can be stained different colors, so in the natural state, this is oak that has an old shellac on it, which gives it that beautiful old honey color. Polychrome simply meaning, you know, the many colors that are painted on the front, and this is all original, these 2. Felt on the bottom. They're unmarked, not sure of the maker. Probably bought and given as a gift sometime in the late 20s to the early 30s, but a very handsome set of oak bookends, which I find very attractive. I'm really attracted to wood, and of course you know the 1920s and 30s is my favorite era. Wow, that's a beautiful piece there, isn't it? I don't know much about textiles, so I'm not sure whether we're going to call this linen or what, but it's certainly beautiful work. I'm going to guess it's machine made and probably dates to 1910 to 1930. Probably meant to go on a dresser rather than on the back of a piece of furniture. I don't think it's a doily, or you fancy folks want to call it an antimacassar. Right? Go look that one up. And I'm anti-macassar. It had to do with the oil that was put in hairdressing in those days. What we usually call them doilies. This one I think was probably a table runner. It's so delicate. Really pretty, isn't it? There's one little gray stain there and I think there. But as you can see, there's nothing major wrong with it. No rips in it. There are, I think up here, there's a little bit of a break right there you can see. I'll let you see the way the edges look. I know a lot of you need to look at it close up to see if it's machine done. That certainly does look like a machine stitch on there, doesn't it? So we'll go with machine made. But whether it's Irish or American or English, I don't know, but it sure is beautiful. It's a nice big one too. I really should save this until I do Granny's Vanity special, because wouldn't a bunch of antique perfume bottles be pretty on that? Okay, just beautifully done, delicate, nice and clean, doesn't smell like mothballs either. Alright, let's look at something else. I think you saw this last summer, and you're finally getting to see it again. And this belongs to E. Eshelman. And when E. Eshelman sent out her laundry, she did it in style. Let's call her Esther. Esther Eshelman. This is her laundry bag. We'll fold it out all the way. Now, we know that folks of means, even folks who weren't necessarily of great means, would often have someone else do their laundry because it was quite a chore back in the old days. Is this a laundry bag that belonged to the Eshelman family? And what, did it go off to camp with somebody? It's old, probably before the war. And I guess you call that embroidered on the front. Laundry. There aren't any holes in it. It's got a few stains on it. Back up, I think I'm a little too close to it. So there's Esther Eshelman's laundry bag. Now that would be nice even just on display in a kitchen or in a vintage style laundry room. You could do a lot with that. Okay, let's see a couple more things. Here is a 1940s dish towel that I think is unused. I believe this is what you call linen, and I don't think this was ever used, and I don't think it was ever washed. We'll get a close-up of the tag right here. STARTEX, Startex. And the colors on this, there we go, are very much in keeping with the Fiesta colors of the 1940s. So when these get washed, you start to lose a lot of the color, and the colors on this are so vibrant it almost looks like a reproduction. Very pretty piece from the 1940s. And then finally, we got one more piece to show you over here. Here it is. I don't know when I'm going to get all this fabric photographed. It sometimes can be difficult. Now this is definitely a table runner. And this is going to be so large, it's not even going to fit here on this counter. I beg your pardon, bear with me for a moment while I try to make a little more space for it anyway, to get the idea of it. Boy, that's a gorgeous piece as well. Okay, and that's a nice large one. Alright, that's going to be beautiful on somebody's buffet, is it not? That is, oh, that's a good 4 feet long if I were to get my yardstick out. Definitely over 3 feet, and I don't see any stains in it. And it sure is beautifully done, isn't it? I think I've got it right side up. Yeah, I can feel the starch in it. It's been, it was ironed and put away many years ago. I'll let you have a better look at it. So, I didn't realize that was so nice looking. It really is. Okay, so I'm going to get all these things photographed at some point, and we'll get it all up for sale in the Old Curiosity Shop. I hope you enjoyed this, everyone. So I want to thank everyone for watching today, and make sure you remember to tune in tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, because as I said, I'm coming back with much more of the old Depression glass. Okay, folks, that's it. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thank you for watching, and so long for now.